Naomi, hold on. You're running 7th, Gareth. Well done.
Hello and welcome. Episode 35, Cookies Rambles. And you're joining me this week. So I'm on the trail, the only bit of trail actually that's on the Spencer's Dash. So the local race, the 6k race that I bang on about all the time, decided to drive out and come and air episode 35 from the trail. So this is what it looks like now when I'm complaining that it is off-road, an uphill look. So yeah, it is a trail. It is narrow. The Spencer's Dash is in a couple of weeks and it is a little bit overgrown on here, in fact, and then you got loose rocks as well everywhere. So this week had a race, had a bit of a tasty race on Friday night over at Mid Cheshire in Wrexham. So my week has centred around being able to perform, but still got my eyes on the bigger picture, which is Berlin Marathon that's coming up in a little less than a month's time. So I've got about 4 weeks now until race day. So yeah, that's the main focus of my life at the minute anyway. So training this week has had one eye on Wrexham, Cheshire, 5k, but it's not be all and end all. And as runners, we can get bogged down in the fact that we might not hit goals or targets or stuff like that. But me, realistically, Mid Cheshire's not my target, 5k is not my target, and it's how you deal with that. Like, it's not a setback as such, because to be honest, I weren't really bothered what I did on Friday night. I was just doing it to see what I could do and what I could handle during marathon training, with miles in my legs and all that sort of stuff. So I was realistic, just wanted to go out there, run something a little bit fast to make that marathon pace feel a little bit easier on race day. Didn't think I should, capable of running a PB, just depends on how the legs are recovered from all the miles. But yeah, managed to run the exact same time as what my PB is on Friday. So ran 15:49. Hiccup in here. Ran 15:49, which is exactly the same time as my PB from 2019. When I went on to run 2:25 at Yorkshire Marathon that year. So really, not in a bad place confidence-wise to say I ran 2:25 at Yorkshire Marathon after running 15:49 at Doncaster 5k. So yeah, I think there's a lot of confidence I can take from that as well. So this week kicked off Monday. Nice big day Monday, so Mondays are becoming a second big day of the week. So 18 mile, so it was 10 mile in the morning, and then in the evening went off-road, and I've named my Strava thing 75% off-road because it was linked to a load of trail paths and stuff. So 18 mile Monday, which felt quite good actually Monday, but then Tuesday came around and felt leggy again, which is normal now. And then the session on the track was 3k. Well, Tuesday kicked off, did 6 mile in the morning, easy, and then Tuesday night session on the track with a gang, another decent turnout as well from them lot. End up doing warm up and then 3k with 3 minutes rest, 2k 2 minutes rest, 1k 1 minute rest, and then it was meant to be session done. But as I mentioned last week, wanted to get some strides into my legs, so did 6 by 200 metres off 200 metre jog recoveries. So I clocked to the 200s in about 31 seconds, but it's not too much where it takes it out of your legs. So yeah, felt good about that. And then yeah, clocked all my Ks exactly as I wanted as well, around like my marathon pace and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that were good. And then Wednesday woke up, went out in the morning, kept my heart rate nice and low, and ran 8-minute miles for 8 miles Wednesday morning, and then in the evening 5 mile, went out and ran with Birdie, and got 5 mile done with him, which was coming nice part of the routine as well. And then that was 13 mile Wednesday, so a little bit less than my usual Wednesday, but not like much. So yeah, that was just like having one eye on Wrexham and Cheshire. Keep saying Wrexham, it's hovering near Wrexham. Mid Cheshire 5k, one eye on Mid Cheshire 5k, but not like all in for it, if I'm being honest. Not tapered or wound down my week to try and target it. And then Thursday night, not all in, but end up doing 12 mile Thursday through the day, 12.5 mile. So 7 in the morning with Kai, and then in the evening went out and did 5 mile on my own. Bumped into Naomi and Ruby as well as they were finishing their run. So named my Strava title, bumped into 2 good looking birds, brought one of them home. So it was Naomi that I brought home, which, yeah, that'd make sense, wouldn't it? And then Friday, so race day. Plan always was to drive over like after I finish work on Friday. It is a fair drive. Took us about 2.5 hours to get over to Mid Cheshire. It's a village called Kingsley, so 2.5 hours to get there, and then like that was just horrendous because of the traffic, and there were a load of crashes, and Stockport were horrendous south of Manchester. So yeah, that were that. Got there probably around 5 o'clock ish. Birdie had betters there, and then got out the car. In the morning I'd done a 20-minute shakeout, just 3 miles around where we live, and then got out a couple of miles, did a lap of the course. So it's Mid Cheshire, it starts and then finishes, you run through the start again and then finish on a downhill, and it's got more downhill in it than it has uphill, so that's probably what lends it to being a fast course and fast times. It's not pancake flat, like there's no bits in it that are flat whatsoever, but it is rolling negatively down, like downhill more or less all the time. Mile 1 to 2 is the uphill bit, everything else is down, so that's what lends it to fast times. I finished about 130th in 15:49, so that shows how stacked the field is. James West, who we trained with at Ladybow the other week, he ended up winning it, which we're calling him a honorary member of the training group. So yeah, he ended up winning it, which is quite cool. And then, yeah, anyway, we set off, me and Birdie, after we'd done his lap and a bit warm up. So I clocked about 3 mile for a warm up. Set off on the race, like we stood on the start line, like there's tons of people around us, it's busy, it's rammed, it's packed. And you could hear people talking about what target times they're going to say, so you try and jump in front of those that are slower than you, or you give those a bit more respect that are faster than you. And yeah, I thought we'd placed ourselves right, but then as soon as the gun went, there were people that set off slower than us in front, and yeah, we ended up getting blocked in a little bit on the start. So me, being the experienced runner that's done it for over 10 years now, decided to jump on the curb and try and skirt round all the runners. Ran through some like nettles on the curb, which isn't ideal in a 5k, and then yeah, that was that. By the point I jumped back on the course, Birdie were already like 10 steps in front of me, and I was just playing catch up from there on in. We bumped into Robert Elston as well, who was another Barnsley AC runner that lives like over Liverpool way, and he's a Barnsley AC runner. He was the chief executive or director of Everton Football Club once, so yeah, he's a claim to fame having him as a member of the running club. Yeah, so got boxed in. The first mile, it was about 4:50, so even though I did get boxed in, like it was still a quick mile, but I did want to be a little bit quicker than that, so I had some more money in the bank, if I'm being honest. And then it was a case of just holding on, and then going up the hill, mile 1 to 2, ended up clocking like a 5. Let's have a look, I'll tell you, because I got my total Strava up here. Ended up clocking a 5:11, which, yeah, wheels hadn't come off. I just definitely weren't feeling it at this point. Wanted to be like sub 5s for the majority of the race to get me around 15:30. So 5:11, it was then a case of when I get to the top of the hill, play catch up. It is on narrow country lanes. There's a lot of ruts and potholes and stuff like that. It's not the best surface, but it's just fast because it is more or less downhill the full way. So yeah, couldn't quite get myself right into the position. My legs, because I am marathon training, were just knackered. Like, I was shattered, and it just like that dead leg feeling. But I said to Birdie when I finished, I'd have probably been able to do exactly the same again and knock out this exactly at the same time, which is a shame, but it just shows that marathon training, I'm doing the right thing. And you know you're doing the right thing when you've got dead legs in marathon training as well, and you lose a little bit of that spring and sharpness in your step. But it comes back, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, anyway, crossed the line 15:49, couple mile cool down, and then we drove over to Liverpool, because Naomi's brother lives right on the docks in Liverpool, so we spent the night there on an airbed on his living room floor. He's got a great view of the docks and all the ferries and stuff and boats. And then Saturday morning, woke up, didn't sleep the greatest because I had not a caffeine shot, I had an Americano in the car on the way to Mid Cheshire. Didn't say Wrexham then. On the way to Mid Cheshire, so I was a little bit caffeine high whilst we were still laid in bed that night. But yeah, other than that, it was nice for Miles to let us sleep on the living room floor as well. And then Naomi, she's started getting obsessed with the parkrun alphabet, so we ain't got a Kickinker, a K, and over in Liverpool there's Knowsley. So we went, got up Saturday morning, and then made the journey across to Knowsley to the Knowsley parkrun. Very nice parkrun, like very nice area, very nice people, proper community feel as well. So yeah, enjoyed that. Couple mile warm up for me, and then Knowsley parkrun about 17:30, and then ran back from Knowsley across back into Liverpool, which is about 8.5 miles back to Miles's, before then going out and get some street food at the Baltic Food Market, which is quite good. It's a bit like Market Kitchen or just a street food festival that's permanent in Liverpool's like centre. Well, it's not centre, it's Baltic Triangle. So yeah, that was nice to spend the day over there. Then we drove back to Barnsley, beautiful Barnsley, yesterday afternoon, and then this morning. So Naomi set a stall up to run. She wanted to run a fast 10 miler just to get some experience, because we're doing Yorkshire 10. She's doing Yorkshire 10 mile when I do the marathon. So she wanted to run a fast 10 miler, and that she did. So she put it in the group chat, said to all the lads and lasses in the group chat, can you help me? Can you jog with me? And it's about the pace we run on Sunday anyway, or there or thereabouts. So she sat in with us for 10 mile or what she could hold on, and that were good. Had a decent group turnout, and we ended up taking her through the pace she wanted for about 6 miles, and then it was just a case of like holding on for her to see what she could get. She ended up running a 5k PB, 10 mile PB, 6 mile PB, 10k PB, and a 5 mile PB today. So she didn't do too bad, and then mopped up a load of crowns on Strava as well. Julie Briscoe came along as well, and she's doing York 10 mile, so it was a nice thing for Naomi to run with someone that's a lot faster than her. Julie's run for GB, and we call her the Fast Briscoe. So she's a really good runner in her own right, and she's a Masters as well, a vet, but she's local, so it's another local female for Naomi to run with that's fast. So yeah, it's a nice little group that we've got going at the minute. But yeah, that's the week in training. That's what it's been, that's what's gone. I've done about 103, 104 mile this week, but a lot of fast stuff. Like I've done Mid Cheshire 5k today, on Friday. I did parkrun at an half decent clocking as well. And then speed session on a Tuesday night. So yeah, I had a good week of training, some good miles clicked in the legs, and yeah, it's just been one of those where I've enjoyed it, to be honest. So yeah, this week, like a week in reflection, like it's not all about hitting every single race and hitting every single race hard, and you're not going to PB every single time. So I might be in marathon training, but that's my A goal, the marathon. And everything along the way is a stepping stone, and it might not work out perfect on the day of that particular race, effort or thing, but all that does matter is it working out perfect and hitting that on race day when it comes to the marathon. So yeah, not getting too downhearted about Mid Cheshire. Really, I am capable of doing a 15:30 at least. Birdie had a phenomenal run, around 15:20 something, which were a 43-second PB for him. So yeah, not too downhearted or gutted about Mid Cheshire, but one day I will do a fast 5k when I'm not doing a marathon. So I need to try and find one that lands like July time or something like that, or in late December, January, to actually have a decent effort at one. Because I do marathons in April and October and September. So yeah, it's hard not to fit it in. Hard to fit it in around marathon training. So yeah, enjoyed it. Enjoyed the week. Enjoyed training with the group and all that sort of stuff that comes. So we're 4 weeks out now from big race day, and then I've got Yorkshire Marathon as well as a backup. But it's because I've done every Yorkshire Marathon, and it's the 10th anniversary year this year of Yorkshire Marathon, and I've done every one since it started in 2013. It was the second marathon I did, and it's Yorkshire. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I'll be towing the line there. And if you are sub 2:30, they do give you a free entry. So if there's anyone out there that is listening and runs a sub 2:30, there's a free entry on the cards if you fancy doing it. I'm probably saying that it might knock me further down the pecking order now, in where I finish. But yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to a big couple of months. Legs will come back eventually, and the taper will be starting in a couple of weeks, 2.5 weeks. Usually do a 10-day taper, so I am looking forward to that. And that's like the celebration before my final victory. Yeah, Dave's in Spain as well, so not been running with Dave this week. He's on holiday with his kids, but I've done plenty of miles with Kai and the training group and a race at Mid Cheshire. So yeah, enjoyed running with other people again this week, which is the beauty of forming a strong team around you. So yeah, cheers for listening, guys. Thanks, and I'll see you next week. And I have got Spencer's Dash coming up, so I'll be revisiting this path again in a couple of weeks as well. So cheers, see ya.